Yo, 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 what is up, my guys? Time for the new Death Battle reaction. Reze versus Bakugo. Reze, you're fucking dead. I'm sorry. No pretenses here. Reze's just dead. I'm sorry. Their way. She's gonna win this. No. Like, it's very hard to even do rat scaling for her. Like, I don't know. Scaling her to Gun Devil, maybe? See if she can get some Gun Devil scaling, and even then, Bakugo kind of just decimates. Nothing really too much there. So, rip. Well, let's get this started. Go.
Well, look who's here.
Okay.
Bakugo versus Reze.
The god of explosions versus the bomb devil.
He's Wiz and I'm Boomstick.
Okay.
And it's our job
God
to analyze
versus
their
bomb.
weapons, armor, and
God versus
skills to
bomb.
find out who would win a death battle.
I said God versus Bomb. God versus Devil. Okay.
Wiz, there's nothing like the smell of napalm in the morning, the rush of the shockwave, the flash of combustion. I love it when stuff
Mega
goes
Me.
boom.
And no one knows that feeling better than Katsuki Bakugo.
When your
Hold on, I just want to go back a moment.
goes boom.
Listen,
And
I need...
no one knows that.
Okay. How is Bakugo boiling fucking Deku? Having no quirk when this guy exists. The Big Ear Man. What do you do? Big ears? Is that it? Red-haired guy. What do you do? She just looks fucking normal. I don't know if she has a quirk at all. That's just Big Muscle Man. But the fuck are these guys doing?
Feeling better than Katsuki Bakugo.
When your name literally means powerful bomb, it's no wonder he was born with the quirk Explosion. It lets
Murder
Bakugo
God
create
Dynamite.
humongous kabooms from his palms. I can only dream of having hands that rad.
Quirks are genetic superpowers that most humans are born with. Bakugo inherited his quirk from his parents. Specifically, it was a combination of his father's combustible acid sweat and his
sweat?
mother's glycerin skin secretions.
Making Bakugo sweat basically like nitroglycerin. And the more he sweats, the bigger the booms. His parents basically made the perfect kid, absolutely oozing with shonen main character energy.
Bakugo felt similarly, so much so that he started bullying his childhood friend who happened to be born without a quirk.
Yeah, okay, he's kind of a snot-nosed turd sometimes, but come on, Wiz! The kabooms! They're so cool!
Quirks are a natural biological feature of a person's body. In the same way that we don't really think about walking or breathing, Bakugo's explosions became like any other limb, especially with his rigorous training.
Bakugo quickly picked up on how to use his explosions to obliterate anything in sight, block attacks, launch himself around, and quickly maneuver in midair at hypersonic speeds, which requires a ton of focus and on-the-fly calculations.
And despite getting this incredibly dangerous quirk when he was 4, he somehow never killed himself or anyone else that we know of. Bakugo was truly a prodigy, destined for greatness.
And his only goal was to surpass Japan's numero uno superhero and his personal idol, All Might. In Bakugo's mind, the
All
only person
Might.
who wins no matter what.
The GOAT?
Absolute victory. No problem for the main character.
Except Katsuki wasn't the protagonist that he thought he was. That would be Izuku Midoriya, the quirkless child Bakugo bullied. In truth, he was threatened by Izuku's tenacity despite being quirkless.
Really? That crybaby's the main character? Well, Bakugo's inferiority complex would only get worse when Deku somehow landed a quirk that was just as cool, and both were accepted to the same superhero high school, UA High.
There, he would learn to be a superhero and fully develop his ultimate moves.
Like
Quirk
flying through the
gear.
sky faster than sound around with
Grenade or
turbo
bracers,
speed,
grenade.
blinding people with stun grenade, focusing his
Strong
blasts into
panzer.
armor-piercing shots, or making a
Explosive.
big-ass tornado of death.
The howitzer impact involves Bakugo spinning himself in midair with his explosions, building up a tremendous amount of swirling oxygen, and then igniting it all for one hell of a boom.
He's pretty smart when it comes to strategizing mid-fight. He even developed new techniques for his quirk faster than Deku did.
UA High also aided Bakugo's development by preparing him with his iconic Grenadier bracers, gauntlets that allow him to store up his sweat, gross, for prolonged bouts, or to release all of it at once in a single massive blast.
He's also got his hero suit, which helps him sweat faster in order to build up stronger attacks. Or the Strafe Panzer, these badass turrets mounted to his back that store his sweat as ammo.
hell yeah.
With all of that, it wasn't long before Bakugo made his hero debut, called the Bombshell Hero, Great Explosion Murder God, Dynamite. Hey, I dig it. The more colons, the merrier.
But despite some early wins, Bakugo failed to live up to his own sky-high expectations. He had the makings
Sky
of
high?
a great
Sky high?
hero, if only he could
Sky High reference, Sky High reference. Yes.
get out
We
of
love
his
Sky
own
High.
way and put the team before his ego.
Especially when he was kidnapped by the League of Villains, ultimately leading Bakugo to blame himself for All Might's retirement. Something needed to change.
No
So
black
he vented
boxes
his
so
frustrations
far.
in a slugfest with Deku and realized
Which-
something crucial. That the kind of absolute
No black boxes usually means, yeah, this is not really a debate. Ooh.
victory that defined All Might wasn't victory for himself,
I might
but
be speaking too
victory
soon.
for
I may be
everyone.
speaking too soon.
He
but
was
let's
starting
see.
to become the prodigy everyone knew he could be. I mean, hell, even while he was unconscious, he kept analyzing the fight he was in and coming up with counters. Somehow,
Bakugo's powerful enough to shatter Todoroki's heaven-piercing ice wall, fast enough to keep up with villains like Shigaraki, who can catch light beams, and tough enough to survive, well,
being dead? Yep, you heard us. Bakugo was killed, dead as a doornail. And then a single bead of sweat floating through his bloodstream detonated and restarted his heart. If that isn't main
Oh, there it
character
is.
plot armor,
While Edgeshot was able to stitch Bakugo's injured organs back together, it was explicitly Bakugo's miniature explosions that restarted his heart and revived him.
I don't know what is.
his stamina is perhaps the craziest thing
Okay.
about him. After all, he is tanking the recoil of all of his explosions.
Even with the overuse of his blasts literally tearing his body apart, he kept trying to make him stronger, and eventually his quirk awakened.
Essentially, when a quirk evolves to become stronger. Now, by condensing his explosions into smaller and more powerful clusters, Bakugo could enhance all of his techniques.
Like the Howitzer Impact Cluster, a stunning achievement in the field of explosionology, or kaboom theory for the layman.
Powerful enough to shatter the side of a mountain, or blow apart UA High itself. Judging by the school's size, we can estimate Bakugo's Howitzer Impact Cluster yielded over 300 kilotons of TNT.
Given Bakugo's
What's that,
whole
like-
deal is explosions,
I'm feeling that's
makes
like
sense to
island
science out
level.
what a ton of TNT actually is. It's literally the energy contained in 1,000 kilograms of trinitrotoluene.
A chemical compound composed of hydrogen, nitrogen, oxygen, and carbon.
That's the recipe for kabooms. Now,
Tons of TNT is a unit of measurement often used in the real world to describe the energy containing in high-yield explosive like nuclear bombs. It can be useful to measure particularly powerful feats from fictional characters.
now imagine a pile of TNT as big as the Empire State Building blowing up all at once. That's Bakugo's Howitzer Impact Cluster.
And these explosions can launch him so fast, it's like time stands still around him.
Like when he covered a huge part of this city in a fraction of a second, almost 400 times the speed of sound.
And that's not all. Now he can detonate his sweat remotely, and from all over his body, not just his palms.
With all of this crazy bullshit, Bakugo became one of the strongest heroes on Earth, enough to battle and defeat All Might's lifelong arch nemesis, All for One. Yeah, that's right, the main villain, who's the protagonist now, Deku.
Bakugo literally and figuratively surpassed his childhood idol and proved his mettle as a hero.
Number 5 on the rankings and rising. Not bad, Kachan.
But more important than proving it to his friends, to All Might, or even to Deku, he proved it to himself.
Yeah, whatever. Take that, losers! Sickest quirk in the world over here! Dynamite! Dynamite! Dynamite!
Okay.
Wiz, what happened to you? You look funny and squishy.
I'm over here, Boomstick. That's the new Death Battle plushie from U2's, and it's available to order
I'll be having to get
That's
that.
the one they made of me a year ago. You got jealous, didn't you?
What? No, mine's way cuter. Look
I
at
got
it,
my
and you can get one
Boomstick.
by
I need to
clicking
get
the
my
link.
whiz.
They forgot to color one of your arms.
Boomstick, I have a metal arm. I always have. Oh, and if you order it, there's a chance you might get a special version with a gold arm.
That's actually
Oh.
kind of awesome.
You definitely want one.
Oh, fine. Yeah, I do, okay? Shut up about it.
Click the link below to order one for yourself. It's only available for a limited time, and
I'll be
after
getting that. I'll be
it
getting
will
that.
never be available again. So don't miss out. Death, war, famine, conquest. Humanity has been plagued by all manner of ills since they first crawled out of the primordial ooze.
I love Chainsaw Man. I wish Reze won, but he doesn't. No! Reze!
In the world of Chainsaw Man, there is nothing to fear but fear itself.
Because fear itself is real, and they're called devils.
Literally devils from hell. These monstrous beings are the living embodiments of humanity's worst nightmares, and their power is directly proportional to that fear.
So the chicken devil might be so weak you could keep him as a class pet, like, you know, a chicken. But what about the bat devil, or the ghost devil, or the devil embodying man's fears of one of the greatest weapons it's ever created, the bomb devil?
Little is known about the origins of the Bomb Devil's current host, Reze, if that even is her real name.
She might look cute and kawaii, but she's actually a Soviet assassin trained from birth to be one of the deadliest killers on the planet. Basically a Black Widow. A cold and lonely existence for anyone, but quadruply so in a world as effed up as this.
But all Reze wanted was a safe, normal, quiet life. As much a fable to her as Aesop's country mouse.
Too bad! You are now a walking, talking explosive. Have fun.
At some point, the girl known as Reze was implanted with a fragment of the Bomb Devil and became a hybrid, a human possessing a devil's powers without sacrificing their humanity, transforming their body into a living weapon.
As a hybrid, Reze's strength and speed are way crazier than a normal human's, and with her martial arts training, she's a force to be reckoned with up close. Also, Wiz, check out the bomb for a head!
Someone like Reze would eat you alive, literally. Should devils like Reze take any damage whatsoever, they can heal by consuming blood.
And that lets hybrids survive some pretty insane stuff, like having their limbs torn off, getting bisected clean in half, or being roasted alive. Just slurp some blood and they're good as new.
Especially useful considering the Bomb Devil's primary ability is literally blowing herself up. Reze can emit explosions from any surface of her body, even tearing off limbs and turning them into bombs that she can detonate at will.
Damn, that's hardcore. She can use these blasts to jet through the sky at hypersonic speeds, maneuver and redirect herself in midair, and enhance the strength and speed of her blows.
Or Reze can send sparks that can ignite the atmosphere in explosions that tear apart entire cities. Making herself stronger the more fear her wanton destruction creates.
As long as the area around her is dry enough to maintain ignition, Reze can create as many explosions as she wants, non-stop.
She can even turn her own body into
Humanity's fear of her not only enhances her explosive power, but her physical power as well. She was able to shrug off an attack from the violence fiend, who specializes in physical strength.
different types of real-world bombs to massively enhance their power.
Like transforming her leg into a torpedo, or her apron into dynamite. Every single inch of Reze is a living weapon.
This made her feared across the devil world as one of their mightiest warriors, and the perfect choice to assassinate Japan's newly acquired devil hybrid, Chainsaw Man.
You see, you might not think chainsaws are all that scary, at least not compared to bombs, but the Chainsaw Devil is special.
Any devil the Chainsaw Devil consumes becomes deleted from reality, retroactively erased from humanity's collective consciousness.
And here I thought chainsaws were for boring stuff like trees or Texas massacres. Silly me.
This ability makes the Chainsaw Devil the most important being alive and invaluable for any global power to control.
Except instead of meeting the fearsome chainsaw of legend, Reze met Denji, a dumb, horny teenage boy just looking for anyone, to love.
And for once, Reze actually hesitated. Rather than immediately kill her target, she got to know him and found they weren't so different. Both were used as tools of the state, as weapons of war rather than people. A kindred spirit in a hostile world, Denji wanted to drink up as much of the excitement of life as he could. The town mouse to her country mouse.
And thankfully, he was super easy for a pretty face to manipulate.
It wouldn't be the only time.
Reze's nothing if not professional, and she gave Denji one parting gift. To teach him the way devils did battle before he died.
As the embodiment of one of the deadliest weapons known to man, Reze's power is off the charts, capable of creating an explosion more than 400 meters in diameter. That's over 4 football fields long.
To have a blast that size, you'd need to be exploding with over 2 kilotons of TNT.
More than comparable to nuclear
Oh, yeah.
weapons, which is really impressive considering
Yeah,
Reze
sorry.
is not the devil of
You're
nuclear bombs. That's
only
apparently
2.
an entirely separate thing.
Despite her bombs being technically conventional, they're just that strong.
Likely comparable to other powerful devils like the Gun Devil, who could travel
Okay.
across the world and kill millions of people in 5 minutes.
That'd be over 500 times the speed of sound.
She's
Okay.
even stronger than the Typhoon Devil, a sentient city-spanning storm.
The literal coughing baby to her hydrogen bomb.
Unfortunately for Reze, Denji took her lessons to heart and proved he was more than a fitting host for the Chainsaw Devil.
He whooped her ass, but spared her life. Just in case her seduction wasn't a total act after all.
But it wasn't meant to be. Whether Reze chose the safe life of the country mouse or the exciting life of the town mouse, there are hungry cats everywhere.
Oh, Makima, what I would give to find someone to kill you.
Reze's dreams of freedom were never realized. She simply changed hands from one cold, unfeeling entity to another. And this time, there was no escape. She was a weapon, a symbol of man's bottomless capacity for malice and self-destruction.
A living bomb.
Rip. Reze.
The
Rip.
battle's about to start, and I hope you've got something good to hear these kabooms with, like our sponsor, Raycon.
That's right, Boomstick. I've been using
Raycon. Check it out. There's the QR code. But I'm gonna skip ahead a little bit. I'm gonna get to the fight.
set, and we've run the data through all,
To all possibilities.
It's time for a death battle!
battle! One possibility. There's one. Oh God. Okay, okay.
I've been sent to collect your head, Dynamite.
Better villains than you have tried, lady. You tell your bosses that after I send you back in a coffin!
How would I tell them that if I was already dead? Wow, you're quick.
Shut up and die! Oh, damn! Oh, damn! Oh, it's on! Impact! Move it or lose it, people!
Save me, Dynamite!
Let go of me!
Boom.
Leave them out of this!
For what it's worth, Dynamite, your blood was delicious.
You bit off a bit more than you could chew! My blood isn't the only thing you drank! It's my sweat you should worry about, dumbass! Scratch that. Not enough for a coffin.
Knew it!
Ah,
Knew it! Hell yeah.
Denji, we're so sorry to hear about your girlfriend that passed away. She gets 5 big booms. Boom! Boom!
Please just shut up. On the surface, these two seemed evenly matched. So let's break this fight down into 3 categories: their speed, their stamina, and their firepower.
First up,
Rip.
let's talk speed.
Both Bakugo and Reze could rocket through the sky at hypersonic speeds and maneuver and redirect themselves on a dime in the middle of fights. To the casual observer, at least, they'd seem to be on par with each other.
So we have to look at the people they've fought to compare.
Reze has battled Chainsaw Man, who could match
Denji and Pochita have fluctuated in power since the battle with Reze due to the fear surrounding Chainsaw Man. As a result, Reze cannot reliably scale defeats from newer
and
arcs of
defeat
Chainsaw
someone
Man.
using the Gun Devil's power.
The same gun devil that could literally fly around the world, killing millions of people at over 500 times the speed of sound.
That's iffy, to say the least. I don't think... So she's scaling to a person that scales below the Gun Devil, so it's kind of hard to grant her that Mach 510. But
Impressive, but compare that to Bakugo fighting
give it to her.
Shigaraki, who could react fast enough to catch light beams with his bare hands.
That's over 1,000 times faster. And that was before Bakugo's
Damn.
Quirk Awakening that made him even faster than that.
With reaction speed of that caliber, there's little chance Reze could ever get the drop on Bakugo, and would likely be forced to play catch-up in a duel. Speed goes to Bakugo.
However, speed doesn't matter if one couldn't truly hurt the other. A big part of this fight is their stamina.
Bakugo's durability is mind-boggling. He's survived being impaled through the torso and has even brought himself back to life.
But, unlike Reze, his stamina does eventually hit a limit. Every explosion he makes whittles him down just a little bit more, and uses up more and more of his sweat. Without a break, he can eventually run out.
Whereas Reze can effectively create bombs without respite, and from a distance.
Unlike Bakugo, who usually likes to get up close and personal.
Furthermore, her devil hybrid physiology gives her an actual regenerative healing factor, allowing her to shrug off the same kind of mortal blows that would eventually kill Bakugo, main character plot armor or not.
If this ever became a war of attrition, Reze had it in the bag. Stamina goes to Reze.
However, it's unlikely it would ever get to that point. The biggest factor
Pity
in this
point.
fight was always going to be their raw firepower.
Explosions! First, we gotta compare their 2 biggest blasts, Reze's nuclear-like bomb against Denji versus Bakugo's howitzer impact cluster.
And the difference is obvious. Based on calculating their sizes, Bakugo's 300 kiloton explosion was over 100 times more powerful than Reze's 2 kiloton blast.
But that's not all. Remember the Typhoon Devil?
Coughing baby or not, to create a storm big enough to cover Tokyo's over 2,000 square kilometers, he'd have to be generating more than 400 kilotons of TNT.
Greater than Bakugo, right? But that's not all. Again, Bakugo's howitzer impact once shattered the size of this big-ass mountain. And despite being earlier on in the series, it was ginormous. Almost 3 kilometers in radius.
Or just over 2 megatons of TNT. 5 times more powerful than the Typhoon Devil, and way beyond anything we've seen Reze do.
And this was Bakugo before reaching his full power in his fight against All for One. Bakugo takes the final edge in Explosion.
Yeah, I saw that
And
coming.
remember, Bakugo withstands the recoil of all his blasts. So even though Reze had greater stamina, Bakugo was more than tough enough to hang on and get his kill shot, especially with his superior speed.
And devil healing factors can be overtaxed with enough damage. Hell, she needed to
Yep.
drink blood a couple times against Denji just to keep fighting.
Against someone as fast and powerful as Bakugo, she would not get the chance to heal consistently, or perhaps at all.
And what happens when devils die? They Bakugo to hell.
The winner is Katsuki Bakugo.
Bombshell, hero, great explosion, murder, god, dynamite. Next time.
Okay, let's see you
on-
next time. How many Kickstarter matchups are still not done yet? Aang versus Traveler and Megamind versus Gru? I think those are the only 2 left. I'm guessing one of them.
Battle.
Oh! Megamind versus Gru. That matchup is actually more debatable than a lot of the episodes recently, but That's a tough one, but I'm siding with Gru here. Some of the shit those minions can do is crazy. But overall, I liked the episode, but nothing too special. Some of the bits of animation were a bit off for me. Particularly when they got to the building. Where is it? Okay, here feels a little off to me for some reason. Then the water is. How do I describe it? It's a little
Oh, damn!
amateurish.
Oh, damn!
And look at that run. Look at that fucking run.
Oh, damn! Oh, damn!
The hell? Kind of looks like a comedy animation now than anything else, but some shots were a little iffy for me, but a lot of the animation was pretty good. Give this episode like a 6 out of 10? 6.5 out of 10? Maybe. I'll have to rewatch it a couple more times to get an exact number, but that's where I put it. 5 is like down the middle, average, like completely average. Anything above a 5, I consider good. Anything below a 5, that's when I start thinking it's bad. But 6.5, that's the range I'm at right now. Well, anyway, I'm excited for the next time. I'm just gonna say it now, I'm betting on Gru. But that's for when that comes out. See you guys later then. Bye!